Well, hello, community, and welcome to this edition of Hall Pass. I have the privilege of standing with Miss Martinez, who is a reading specialist here at the Fisher Elementary School. Welcome to Hall Pass.
Thank you so much for having me.
So, Miss Martinez, tell us, what does it look like to be a typical day in your life as a reading specialist?
Well, as a reading specialist, I work with students in grades K through 5 who need extra reading support.
Okay.
And so my role is to ensure that students are receiving good, high-quality interventions so that we can get them to become proficient in reading. Mm-hmm. So a typical day is very busy. The grade level teams have a 30-minute acceleration block in their schedule. So students are coming and gathering in the reading room. Of course, we strategically group them by their need. Mm-hmm. And so let's say, for example, first graders come at 8:30 right after morning meeting. Okay. My group will come to me and we do a whole lesson on, using a foundations lesson. Okay. And after the lesson, then they independently walk to their classrooms. Okay. And then let's say the next group immediately enters, and that group could be 5th grade. And wow. So there's really no transition, like a big time for transitioning. Yeah. So I immediately have to gather my materials out. Yeah. Students are very helpful. I have everything organized. And so typically, that's how my day goes every 30 minutes.
Wow. So fast-paced, lots of students coming in and out. You have the lessons. So when preparing for that, talk to me a little bit about how do you work with teachers? How are you using data and information to kind of make sure that this 30 minutes is as impactful as possible for students?
Yes. So we use several data points. Okay. So starting with MAP and MAP fluency, okay. I work with the other reading specialists, classroom teachers during PLCs to really look at the data and identify students that are performing below the 30th percentile. And so at that point, we kind of set them aside, then go into the data tracker, look at how they're performing with unit tests, module assessments. Okay. And so we use a lot of data through collaboration, talking with the classroom teachers to really pinpoint who needs the intervention. And then from there, we do additional reading inventories and running records to ensure that we're identifying the focus, the need of the student, so that we can then provide the correct or most appropriate reading intervention and program.
Awesome. That is so amazing how tailored and individualized it is. I know you have so many success stories, and I know it is just so encouraging to see when that light bulb goes off or when students hit those benchmarks. Do you have like a particular success story or something in mind when you think about a student or where this targeted work has really made a difference?
I mean, I have many stories, but one that stands out. First of all, I really believe that students are successful when they take ownership of their learning and they are motivated to learn. But in order for us to get there, us as teachers and professionals, we have to set those high expectations. Absolutely. And so I do have a story of a 4th grade student that stands out to me. We were again analyzing the data, and this student was performing at a 1st percentile on MAP. And so looking back at his history, the trend was very low. And so I was going to work with the student, and like I said, when I receive the students, I do reading inventories, reading surveys, and I got to know the student, and I realized that he had many strengths.
Yeah.
He was very bright. He didn't want to admit it, but he was very bright. He had great background knowledge, great vocabulary. His accuracy, reading accuracy was good. Again, but he didn't want to admit it. You know, he wanted to like, oh, I don't know, I don't like reading. And so just setting those high expectations, talking to him about his performance, having the most appropriate intervention that fit his needs, his interests, was very helpful. He was into soccer and football, and that was his life. And so I brought books that interested him in that and talked about players. And so he went from the first percentile, and then in the winter he scored in the 60-something percentile, which was great. And so then go to spring, he continued to make growth, which means now he was out of acceleration. And I kept an eye on him for fifth grade, and he never came back. And so he continuously did well.
That is amazing.
And that's one of many.
One of many. One of many. Thank you so much for having that type of impact. As an educator myself, it is so rewarding. It's why we got into the work of being an educator, and to bring your expertise and connection, and also being mindful of learning who he was as a student and his interests, and bringing that
very
in.
important.
So important. Well, wonderful. Well, community, thank you for joining us on this edition of Hall Pass. A special thank you to Ms. Martinez, to all of our educators across our entire district that do this every single day, that look at the individual needs of our students and meet them where they are so that they can thrive and continue to grow. It's been a pleasure being with you. See you next time.